The Social Media Lab is hosted by Richard Beeson and Scott Ayers and powered by Agora Pulse.
Welcome to the Social Media Lab, busting the myths, rumors, and stories of the social media marketing ecosystem with science. Today, evergreen content on Twitter is all the controversy. What about the risks of losing followers? And will it really help your business? Let's find out on today's Social Media Lab. We're so sciencey around here all the time. Let's throw caution to the wind and statistical significance out the window for a second and get philosophical. You know you want to.
All right, try me.
What is evergreen content?
Philosophically?
Philosophically.
Well, Copy Blogger defines evergreen content as, and I'm reading the direct quote here, special source resources that are in-depth examinations of a problem, solution, trend, or topic. They can help your audience find tons of information on a subject that interests them, which adds value to your blog.
Heh.
Yeah, HubSpot describes evergreen content like this, and I quote, "Just as the evergreen tree is a symbol of perpetual life."
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's totally ethereal, dude.
Totally. Let's read that again. Just as the evergreen tree is a symbol of perpetual life, evergreen content uses ideas and techniques that are sustainable and lasting over time.
Grow bigger ears. That's, to my recollection, the first piece of evergreen content I ever knew about.
That's Lisa Calner Williams, content lady, among other things, for us at Agora Pulse.
It was written by Chris Brogan. I just double checked. It seemed eons ago, but it was in 2009. He wrote an article called Grow Bigger Ears. And if you type that in Google, that will be the first result. It talks about the importance of listening on social media, not just talking. So it was something that was useful to his audience at the time. It became one of his most popular posts. And over time, I think people took that idea of good tips, if your article has good tips, or if it was popular, has had a lot of shares and views, that it's considered evergreen. I can't say that it's perfectly evergreen, though. A genuine piece of evergreen content is something that can always benefit the reader, just like your evergreen tree in the backyard will always come up year after year. I've written hundreds of articles, and I can say only a handful are almost genuinely evergreen. I have two I'm thinking of from the year 2012. One was how to show namaste, the yoga principle, the Sanskrit principle, using social media. And I talk, among other things that are still useful, about how important it is to use clout to show namaste. And clout is completely outdated, although the whole idea of showing appreciation for others using social media is still helpful to our audiences. I don't think we do enough of that. So we have to think about if a piece is helpful year after year to your audience, but has some of these kind of like old school flashbacks like a clout or an outdated screenshot of Facebook, will your audience be forgiving of those for the greater good of learning something useful? If the answer is yes, then totally schedule up your evergreen content. If not, try to create something that would be evergreen.
That was Lisa Calner Williams, goddess of content and many other things here at Agora Pulse. We've gone over this at times before. On one hand, we have Michael Stelzner claiming evergreen is dead, for Social Media Examiner at least. And on the other hand, we ran a thorough and exhaustive study in a previous episode on one of the world's most successful Twitter accounts, that being Jeff Bullis's account. And we found that evergreen content is super successful for him. Scott, these are two social media giants with two very different points of view about evergreen content on Twitter. What are the rest of us in social media marketing to do?
Well, we can run another test, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm going to test the results of tweeting evergreen content and base my conclusion on linked clicks So we'll have a real idea if posting content over and over is driving traffic and worth the effort.
And what do you think we'll find?
I'm hypothesizing that tweeting evergreen content is a solid strategy that will produce link clicks.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll come away with some insights to better understand how to use it. Okay. How are we going to test this?
Well, in order to get a 100% pure data set, I'm going to do the following on 3 different Twitter accounts that I run. First, we're going to tweet the same 10 links with the same text every day for 5 weeks. Then once the 5 weeks has ended, I'll wait 2 weeks to let the tweets get the full amount of impressions and gather that data. And then I'll count the number of link clicks as well as likes and retweets, although link clicks will be my main focus. And then once I'm done, I'll gather engagement numbers also from Twitter Analytics for the Agora Pulse Twitter account.
Okay, why every day? Isn't there some risk in doing that?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of risk that Twitter might actually punish me and my results might dwindle throughout the test, but the data will be absolutely bulletproof. I really wanted to ensure that the data we have here is 100% evergreen, and that's why I did it this way.
Fair enough. That'll be pretty interesting to see what happens. Now, the three Twitter profiles that you're using have all been around and active for at least 7 years.
That's right. These 3 profiles have been around and active at least 7 years or longer. And then I'll use our own tool, Agora Pulse, to publish all the tweets.
Shameless plug alert again.
Right? And I'll tally up these results on a Google Sheet with my exported Twitter Analytics data.
Okay, let's do it. What did we find?
Well, overall, we got a total of 300 link clicks from these 3 Twitter profiles over a 5-week period.
That's 311 link clicks from a total of, 1,400 tweets?
Yeah, roughly about that amount. And that's not a record-breaking amount, obviously.
But for a new site like ours at the Social Media Lab, 300 visits is a very welcome thing.
Yeah, it is. And while I could draw a conclusion from that experiment alone, I also decided to dig through 11 months worth of tweets from the Agora Pulse Profiles Evergreen strategy, and I discovered 3,700 link clicks in nearly a year's time.
All right, carry the 2. That comes to about 336 link clicks or website visits per month.
These are statistically significant numbers that can predict future results and give me confidence that tweeting evergreen content can and will produce results for your business based on these.
And I guess if you're a huge site like Social Media Examiner and you're getting millions of hits per month, and Twitter only equals 2% of that, it doesn't seem like much, but 2% of 1 million is 20,000. That's a lot of eyeballs and potential customers browsing your site per month. I know I wouldn't turn them away, but what about the danger of losing followers by tweeting evergreen content?
I think most businesses will be fine if they just put space between their repeated tweets.
So in other words, don't do what you just did and publish the same tweets every day.
No, I would not recommend that whatsoever. We actually analyzed Jeff Bullis's account recently in the study, and we discovered that he did a 4-day gap between repeating his tweets, and that's with his massive audience of over 500,000 followers, and he tweets every 15 minutes. I'd say the average business would want to space, at least 7 days between repeating tweets.
Yeah, and you can see that case study we did on Jeff Bullis's Twitter account at agorapulse.com/social media lab. And there you'll also find the blog article associated with this episode that has a lot more intricate data in it. Now, by putting a 7-day gap between your tweets, it doesn't necessarily mean you need to put that same gap on your links.
No, it doesn't. And what I would recommend is use the same links, but switch up the text portion of your tweet every time that you post it.
And Jeff probably has the best system for this evergreen content type strategy. If you use a tool like Agora Pulse, shameless plug alert, You load up your tweets in an automatic publishing queue, making sure there's enough space between them. And then while they're cycling through, you test new content with new tweets. And any new tweet that seems to perform well,
Yeah, just they get thrown into the queue with the other tweets.
right?
The bottom line here is evergreen content is not dead, despite what you're hearing. And if you're using a scheduling tool, it's actually easy to implement. One of the tidbit that I'd like to add is the link clicks didn't only come with the first time I tweeted it. They were spread throughout the test, meaning if I'd only tweeted it once, I would have missed out on a lot of traffic.
Just be sure to put some space between those repeating tweets.
Yeah, and add new content regularly in order to keep your Twitter content relevant.
Is there a test you'd like the social media lab to run for you? You can give us a shout out on the Agora Pulse Facebook page. Scott and I really look forward to hearing from you. And if you found this content to be valuable, we'd really appreciate a good rating on iTunes.